Hi, friends. Welcome back to Playing Tribute to Apollo Justice Ace Attorney, where it appears that we are going to have two trial parts in this first trial day, because it says day two trial former instead of just day two trial. And that's how the naming conventions work in this game. So last we left off at the beginning of Turnabout Corner, second case of this game, we did not really get to talk to our client, Waki Kataki. But he seems to be admitting to the crime, which is killing the doctor with a pistol while the doctor was carrying a stolen noodle stand on the same night that panties were stolen and Phoenix Wright almost got run over by a car. I'm sorry, did get run over by a car, flew 30 feet in the air, and hit his head on a telephone pole, but ended up with a sprained ankle. This man is insane. He has survived. I mean, he survived worse. He did fall almost to his death in that cold river in the last case of his games. But yeah. So we're following along Apollo Justice, and the new defense attorney. He's a lot of fun. I do like Apollo as a character. And I like Trucy, and of course I like how chill Phoenix is in this. Like he just doesn't seem himself, I guess. And I don't know. He seems very chill and whatever and blah and kind of good natured though, with jokes and just not taking anything too seriously. And I enjoy that about him because it's just because of what's going on with him for the past 7 years. So, all to be revealed, and things have already been said. So, you know a little bit about his past. But anyway, all that to say, the game has never been that memorable for me. So I will struggle a little bit with, I guess, motivation and ability here. So we'll see how it goes. No more negativity. Let's play the game. I love these games, and even if it is my least favorite of the games, it is still a good game. That was kind of my least favorite of the trials in each of the games. It's still a cool trial. This actually might be my least favorite trial of this game, though, so I don't know. Huh. Mr. Wright's not here today. He said his old foot injury was acting up. Old injury? He was all smiles yesterday. Yeah, he smiled when he said we'd be fine as long as you're here, Trucy. Yes, fine. We'll be fine. Here comes justice. I started my voice training at 5 this morning. Ooh, do some now. I want to see. Here. Huh? Oh, okay. My name is Apollo Justice and I'm fine. That sounds more like a self-mantra than a voice training. I'm fine, you know what I'm saying? Good morning. Yo, sup? Hit me with a guilty verdict, G. See if I care. You're just hang loose and let things go with the flow, you know what I'm saying? Not really. Waki, don't be running your mouth like that in here. See, what's the difference? That's the difference between me and you, old man. I ain't afraid of no cops. Real G's can't keep it real until they spend some hard time in the pen. I've absolutely no idea what you're talking about. Sounds like they've both been voice training too, Apollo. My worst fears realized. Trial's starting, and I still haven't had a real talk with my client. I mean, it's fun. The situations and all of that, and just the one-offs and one-liners and whatnot. Oh, I did not think of how to use his voice. Oh my goodness. The court is now in session for the trial of Waki Kataki. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Ready to rock and roll, Herr Judge. Ah, it's him! The guy from yesterday! He's a prosecutor? Is Mr. Gavin's brother? Long time no see, Prosecutor Gavin. Were you taking a leave of absence? You know that little band I started with in my free time? Thing is, we got real popular. Hard to say 9 to your fans. Then 3 of your singles go platinum, yeah? I forgot that I need to at least attempt somewhat of a German accent for him. I see. To be honest, I was a little concerned. I feared that you might still be distraught over that one trial. Not so very, Judge. I wouldn't miss this day in court for... Now I'm turning in French. For the world! I gotta give it up. It's worth even more than VIP passes to one of my concerts, yeah? How could I pass up a chance to see the true strength of a little boy who bested my brother? Oh boy. It was worth canceling a show or two. Understood. You may give us your opening statement to the court. Before that, I was thinking. Is the air in this courtroom not a bit serious? It is a court of law. That's no way to get the crowd jumping, Herr Judge. They're not supposed to jump. This is a courtroom. Achtung, baby! Today, we play it my way. What's that noise? Sometimes you have to get on up in order to get down. To prosecuting. This is crazy. Maybe it's not so much smooth as rock and roll. The victim, Al Maractus, director of the Maractus Clinic. The scene, People Park. He was found pulling a noodle stand. What in the world was the doctor doing pulling a noodle stand? Yes, I believe you will only find that by asking the defendant, right here, right now. Because it's undeniable truth that he shot the victim. What do you mean undeniable? If you are to glare at anyone, Herr Justice, glare at the punk in the defendant's chair. His crime was witnessed quite clearly, you see. Very well. At least admit this witness to the court. Nine! Not yet. First, there is a little matter to be cleaned up. Could you talk without the accompaniment? I swear I could see the guitar for a second. What is it, Prosecutor Graven? The motive, Herr Judge. Why did the little punk do it? Why did he kill the director of the Maractus Clinic? Objection! Not so fast! The defendant doesn't have to explain that. Oh, but what if the defendant specifically requests to do so? As he did this morning. I want to give a shout out to all my homies, I believe he said. What? Oh, Waki, you're not helping things. What is right? They always say that. On stage, you should hit the crowd with speed and veracity. Sounds like he got you good, huh, Polly? Well, it is highly unusual, but the court will now hear from the defendant concerning his motive for the crime. Yeah, it doesn't help that Waki is admitting to the crime. So you, son, are the defendant. Waki, are you? I ain't your son, old man. You step to a Kataki, you must be prepared to step strong. You step to a public official, you best be prepared to step into jail. You gotta hand it to him. Waki sure has guts. It's not his guts I'm worried about. Well then, the court will now hear the testimony on the defendant's motive. From the defendant himself. I'll tell you one thing. That doctor was a quacker. Someone had to show him what's what. I was in his clinic about half a year ago. He messed up my op something bad. And then he just lets me go without a word. See you later, bye. So I gotta go in, get another doc to patch me up again. That was the day I done figured it out. No OG's gonna let that pass. That's why I went to his pad that night. Know what I'm saying? You're saying you were one of the victim's patients. A lot of stuff goes down when you're keeping it real on the street. True that. I tell you one thing, that doc was whack. Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination. I can't believe this is the first time I'm hearing about all of this. There is so much. Okay, let's hear about this. it all comes flooding back to me, the memory of this case. I understand some things. So you were a patient at the Maractus Clinic half a year ago? For what reason? I had what you might call a mark of honor. Can you explain precisely what was wrong? We had a little run-in with Rivali's family. That's when I pulled a Jack move. I ran to an ambush. She busted a cap right in me. According to my sources, you couldn't stand the stress of waiting, and ran in 15 minutes before the appointed time. By yourself. Hey, I was more than a match for those guys. So you were carried to the Maractus Clinic from there? Apparently, he was shot in the heart. Shot in the heart and he's still alive? I can catch bullets between my teeth, but I never learned how to catch them with my heart. Bullets stopped just short of my thumper. You know what I'm saying? Would have been golden if it weren't for that whack doc. Can't even take out a stupid bullet. So, as you say, the surgery was a failure. That ain't all of it, Holmes. What do you mean he just let you go without a word? What do you think it means? It's whack, that's what. I'm not sure what that means, but it sounds bad. Sounds as though Herr Doctor wished to hide his mistake. This is why he let the defendant go. He's a liar, straight up. He's better G than me. So, this bullet is still... You know it! I can still feel it. Right there in my chest, pressing up against my heart. Your words are like a bullet shot straight into my heart. Or something to that effect. Incidentally, that's from one of our hit singles. Well, it sounds like a straightforward case of malpractice. Word, J-Man! Weren't no accident. That's for Sizzle. I can't talk to this kid. It seems that there were issues with this doctor. Man, putting him down was like doing the world a favor. Walkie, please consult your lawyer before saying things like that. Chin up, Apollo. Back straight. Why did this mistake only come to light that day? It's found during the family health checkup. The family health checkup? That was the wackest thing of all. Us G's lining up, taking eye exams and all that. Better die young than fade away. Bzoy! A relief to hear. Eh? What's relief? Oh, did your father not tell you? And that bullet you carry so close to your heart, if not attended to immediately, it could kill you. What? Yes, Herr Dr. Maractus had knowledge concerning this ticking time bomb in you. Knowledge that could have saved your life. No way! That's whacked! There is proof. Your checkup report. Yeah, I remember that. How ironic that you would kill the one man capable of helping you. I remember that it's near his heart and that he was a time bomb. Yikes! You're almost as careless as he was. Well, now that the place is hopping, let's get this gig started. Started? We've had enough of a warm-up act, yeah? Time to hear from the witness. Walkie sure is quiet all of a sudden. I'm a little uneasy myself. Is this Gavin's strategy? No. So, you will tell us your name and occupation? My name is Wesley Stickler. By occupation, I take it you refer to some... It wouldn't be an Ace Attorney game without someone who's just gonna do this. I can't catch up with what you're saying, buddy. Yeah, cool. By which he means to say that he is a student. A junior at Ivy University, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. the Department of Science and Engineering. Filled with curiosity for all things, I spend my days in pursuit of truth, honing my... Herr Stickler, please direct said curiosity to the case at hand today. Very well, Mr. Stickler. Please testify to the court about what you saw the night of the crime. You ask quite simplistically what I saw, how... Fade to black. That night, I passed through the park on my way home from shopping when I saw them. One man pulling a stand, another man facing him. I saw them quite clearly. The man facing the victim was the defendant. In his hand he held, yes, a pistol. It was pointed at the man pulling the stand. A shot! The bullet hit the man pulling the stand from the front, square in the forehead. Was there anyone else at the park that time? I can say with 100% accuracy that there was not. The pistol our witness refers to is this. The court accepts it into evidence. Very well, Mr. Justice. You may cross-examine the witness. Yes, Your Honor. Trucy, why are you staring at the witness like that? That man... I can't help but feel I've seen him somewhere before. Weird. Okay, I was really concerned with the hesitation here. Are you sure the pistol you saw is the same as the one just submitted as evidence? Am I sure? Surely you jest. Also, a common witness would be tempted to say. Huh? Is he yawning when he does it? Yet I am no common witness. I see not only the events as they are, but the logical structure governing those events. First, we must consider the fact that it was night at the park, which indeed restricted my field of vision due to the insufficient levels of illumination. Now, if we consider that the pistol, let us call it Object A, was indeed shrouded in darkness, it becomes difficult to say with certainty that Object A is indeed Object A. I think he means he couldn't see it that clearly. My badge for normal witness. Yet, the fact that a pistol was fired before my eyes is indisputable. I can still see it when I close my eyes. The defendant raised his weapon. Oh, wait. Did he say in the forehead? That's not even right. Objection! I don't know what I'm pressing for. Oh, if that's all of it, I think I have a chance. Is that you relaxing? I see, Herr Justice. Objection! Once is quite enough, Mr. Justice. I mixed up his voice, too. Apollo, pace yourself. This trial's not over yet. Right. Look at this! The autopsy report? Is there a problem with the autopsy report? Right, a problem. Problem. Yes! The problem is the location of the entry wound. The location? You testified that the killer shot the victim square in the forehead, did you not? I have already determined your angle of inquiry. Allow me to explain. It is quite simple, really. First, understand that when I say square, I speak not of geometric absolute. What I mean by this, for example, the deflection of a oh my gosh. Nope, he lost me at the science and the decimal points. Yes, okay. Now he's talking about Krypton. And... Mr. Justice. Yes? What's your objection to these Krypton particle things? This is the big time, and you're obsessed with something so small? You disappoint me. No! I'm obsessed with something big! I mean, there's a bigger, less nitpicky problem here. Do tell. Just look at the autopsy report. The location of the entry wound was the right temple. Temple. Mr. Stickler, you said quite clearly that the victim was shot square in the forehead. That's a contradiction. Isn't it? Poor guy, he's still a newbie. I love when he, like, scratches his hair that his little horns go down with it. It is, right? Finally. Objection! Herr Justice. Oh, Herr Justice. Yes? Your tactics are outdated. Trying to shake the witness by objecting to trifles? Surely you haven't forgotten the fatal wound your master suffered 7 years ago? Phoenix Wright, was it? Look, I know the wound was in the wrong place according to this testimony. Aw, he's so sad. Hey, Air Forehead. Forehead? Let's imagine you are walking through the park. You see two men facing each other, one with a pistol trained on the other. What would you do, Air Forehead? I guess I would try to stop them? I'd probably shout, "Stop!" And you, Fraulein? Me? Well, I'd probably scream, "Eek!" And you, Herr Stickler? What did you shout? I wonder. Ah! If the victim turned his head at the last moment. Ah, yes, thank you for jogging my memory. I would call that leading the witness. It sounds like an addendum to the testimony is required. Objection! Leading the witness. A Night in the Park 2. As soon as the killer raised his pistol, I took action. "Cease this at once, you two!" I cried with composure. The victim turned in the direction of my voice, and a shot rang out. Whereupon our cowardly killer, the defendant, appeared to have become frightened. Tossing the pistol aside, he fled from the scene. I see, so you attempted to stop the crime. Indeed. With composure. Well, maybe the criminal wouldn't have fired if he hadn't shouted like that. That doesn't really matter now, unfortunately. Let us consider this new testimony, shall we? Observe the diagram, if you would. The witness, Mr. Stickler, was it, stood here. He shouted, "Oh, stop, please," or something of this nature. And the victim responded by looking in the witness's direction. If the killer were to have fired just that moment, as we can see, the bullet would have struck the right temple, as in the report. That does seem to be the case. Witness the power of Virginia and Ivy University's Department of Science. Very well, Mr. Justice, you may cross-examine the witness. With composure. Okay, that was what was led to by Clavier. Not a fan of that. And a shot rang out. He fled from the scene. The hesitation, again, is weird. Did you hear the gunshot at the same time as the victim turned? Indeed, I would say about the same time, to be precise. And the victim didn't ask you for help. It can be said that he didn't have time to ask. He didn't even have time to take a single step. I'm totally sure that the killer fired because Mr. Stickler startled him. Don't say that too loud, Trissy, please. Frightened probably because there was a witness. What's going on here? You didn't try to apprehend the criminal. Also, what was that? Lift a crime scene. Oh. 2 rounds were fired and the fingerprints were wiped? What? I should pay more attention to my evidence. It all happened so fast, I'm afraid I hadn't the time. Doesn't something about that strike you as odd, Paula? What? The killer was in a hurry, right? He fired the pistol and tossed it right away? According to the testimony, this would happen, yeah. In that case, I'd expect to find something that we didn't find. Fingerprints. I like that contradiction. Kind of sad to see it go. Not as sad as I feel. What do we do now? At least the testimony's getting a little clearer. She's right. Maybe I can find something to use in this new testimony. Okay. Shot rang out. You fled from the scene. Do I present it here? Or here? Wow, I do not remember having to present this. I guess here. Yeah, because it's not... Because easily a second shot could have been... Or like a first shot could have been done before all of this happened. I can't argue that. But it's the fingerprints that's the problem. Wait a second! Another misleading request. Yet you're so beholden to your own mode of discourse, you can't see how it affects you. Come again? Wait a second. Do you say a second? Are we intended to wait just that? A single second? 1/60th of a minute? That's hardly enough time to draw a breath, let alone make a statement in court. Now, had you asked for a longer period of time, say 3 minutes, 35 seconds, Mr. Justice. Yes, Your Honor? Am I to understand you are objecting to the length of a second? Yeah, I mean, no! Here, just look at this pistol. Poor guy, still a newbie. It doesn't have a single fingerprint on it. Common ploy, made hold more common, I fear, by the prevalence of television. Criminals these days are loath to leave fingerprints. Oh, wait, but you said the killer tossed the gun and ran. That's right! He didn't have time to wipe the gun for prints. The little girl sticking it to the university student. There's a song in there. I'm not little! Then let's think like adults, shall we, Fräulein? That is the killer, the defendant, was wearing gloves. I gotta admit, I didn't think of that, Apollo. Well, Mr. Justice, could the killer have been wearing gloves? No, he couldn't have! We found his fingerprints elsewhere. The record of the murder weapon is very clear about one thing. The fingerprints were wiped, which means some trace of prints remained. That too. I was actually thinking of that first, but then I was like, I didn't think that it would count, because I thought... Oops, not that one. I thought that it said there were no fingerprints, but no, I was right. The fingerprints were wiped. Which contradicts your testimony. If everything happened as you said it did, he wouldn't have had time to wipe the pistol. That may be, but it does not change what I saw. The killer, the defendant. He threw down the murderous weapon from his hand and fled. And this pistol was found at the scene of the crime, strongly suggesting that this was the weapon he disposed of. I knew he was uncertain about that pistol. That sounds solid to me. Well, Herr Forehead, any of your precious objections? What gives, Apollo? Let's see that voice training go to work. You know, I've only recently realized something. No matter how much you train your voice, it doesn't matter if you have nothing to say. What do you mean, nothing to say? Isn't it obvious from what the witness just said? Huh? Isn't what obvious? When he restated what he saw just now, he said he saw Walkie drop a murderous weapon. But that's not the same as being 100% sure of what Walkie threw away. You're right. He's just confused because the pistol was found at the scene. Poor Mr. Stickler. It must be hard to be so perfect, and yet so wrong. Well, I can be said that I am quite offended. Well, it is indeed true that once my... What we can say for certain is that what the witness saw the killer throw something. Does the defense have any idea, anything to say about this? Well, if what he threw wasn't a pistol, then it had to be something else. The other thing that had fingerprints on it. I was a step ahead. At least one person on the defense team seems to be thinking. Oh, shut it, Clavier. I'll wipe that smile off your pretty face, Gavin. Perhaps you can inform the court as to the nature of this something else. What did the killer throw away before fleeing the scene? The knife. The knife. Is that a sword? No. I saw one of those in the late night movie last night. Great. Sleep-deprived judge. This knife was found at the scene of the crime, with the defendant's prints on it. His prints. A single piece of evidence proves two important things. One, that what the defendant threw down wasn't a pistol. Two, that the defendant wasn't wearing gloves. Indeed. Oh, Herr Forehead, you're forgetting two other things you've just proven. Huh? One, that the man the witness saw was the defendant, Mr. Vaki Kataki. Two, that the defendant was holding a knife, with the intent on harming the victim. Oh! Indeed. Never underestimated Gavin's lesson here. Yeah, but I think Walkie has admitted so much as that. This court is of the opinion that our witness is fond of making assumptions. In that light, I believe it would behoove us to hear about what really occurred. With less assuming, please. It's always the same with you people. Mark left the house on foot, and 5 minutes later his brother left after him. How long would it take for Mark's brother to catch up with him? Assuming that Mark never had to stop for a traffic light. Assuming, yes, that's what I said, assuming. As if that were a probable situation at all. Yet here you are assuming that my assumption is no better. What this court assumes is that the witness will testify as to what happened after the shot was fired. I could not prevent the killer from leaving the scene, nor could I simply leave the scene to go in good conscience. Ergo, I used my cell phone to call the police. Until the police arrived at the scene 10 minutes later, I saw no one else. Why didn't you chase the killer? He was, as you say, a killer. Of course I could have run him down, yet what would he have done when cornered? Sadly, it takes more than an aptitude for solving quadratic equations to know that. Did the testimony earlier not prove the defendant's presence at the scene? And do we not also know, now, that there was no one else there? It seems clear that we have our killer. Does it not? Does it not, Mr. Justice? I'd better find a way to take this testimony down quick. Shot to call. Sure, there's no question about that. Right. Okay. Wasn't your first thought to call an ambulance? It can be said that I have dabbled in medicine. The injury I've witnessed, namely a single shot to the head, tends to result in death. Ergo, there is no need for me to call an ambulance. Oh, perfect syllogism. Syllogism. Ah. Syllogism? Syllogism. A proof in 3 parts. Exquisite, simply exquisite. Syllogism. Colloquialism. Nope, that's not it either. He's actually look like he's going to cry. Trucy, you always have like this look on your face. I don't know what you're trying to tell me. Can you tell us in detail about these 10 minutes? I stood in a state of heightened awareness. Anything could happen at any moment. Anyone could appear from any direction. Is that all? No one came. Nothing happened. I saw it all, which is to say, I saw nothing. It was late at night, so it's not odd to think there would be a few people around the park. So he just stood there, watching. How much you going there? What is up, Trucy? If you got something to say, by all means, say it. I love when I agree with the thoughts of the characters in the game. This witness is way too self-assured. There's got to be a weakness somewhere in this testimony. It's press everything time. You are certainly composed for someone who had just witnessed a killing. If one is to devote one life to the pursuit of science, one must never flinch at the sight of a little blood, nor to be so moved by a chemical discovery that one drops one flask upon the lab room floor. Ooh, cool answer. Very cool. There's nothing strange about how he acted. Trucy looks like she has something to say. That was him saying that, not me. I've been saying that for a while. Trucy, by all means. Which way did the killer run? By that time, it was clear that the killer had noticed me. Naturally, he ran the opposite direction. I mean, he ran into the opposite direction from the Kataka mansion. Achtung! Don't even think about pointing out that he was going away from his home. All he had to do was loop back once he was out of sight. How did he know that's where I was going? Ugh, I can't find a single problem with that testimony. Had enough at last, Hair Forehead. Maybe it's time to back off a bit? No! The defense still has some questions that demand answers, Your Honor. Your opinion, Prosecutor Gavin. I'll let him play attorney until he's satisfied, I say. I'll amuse myself by composing my next smash hit in my head. Very well, you may continue with the cross-examination. Oh, I was supposed to say no. This is way too self-assured. I think I was supposed to say yes, let it go. Tell us in detail about these 10 minutes. If you got something to say, by all means say it. Maybe there isn't anything left to unravel in this testimony after all. Some of us have glamorous careers if you'd like to get back to this month, Hair Forehead. Nice of him to let me, talk it out a little bit. They don't have enough to put Walkie away yet. Should I back off for now? Yeah, they don't have enough to put Walkie away. There's nothing fishy about that testimony at all. It appears there are no objections to the witness's current testimony. There are any number of ways to explain the lack of prints on the pistol, I assure you. Perhaps the killer really was wearing gloves which wiped the previous user's prints off. Then, after the deed was done, this fell out of his pocket as he was throwing the gun away. A mistake befitting of a small-time punk, in my opinion. Oh! Seems we've come to the end of the line here. That can't be all. How unfortunate. Seems that you weren't cut out to stand on the same stage as me. For you, Hair Forehead. I believe this brings the cross-examination to a close. This court will now declare the verdict for the defendant, Walkie Kitaki. Wait, I thought you said they had nothing on him. Eek! Trucy? Nobody move! What's the meaning of this? Who are you? He's just chill. He's just standing there. There will be no verdict in this court, not yet. Wait, are you one of the Kitakis? The Kitakis? You mean the notorious gangsters? If you don't want to see me give this pretty little girl a new smile, do as I say. Adjourn the court for 20 minutes. What? This court will not bow to pressure from the likes of... Hair Judge. I see little point in further aggravating this gentleman. Recess. 20 minutes. I promise you'll regret it. Wait! How did he disappear so fast? Come to the defendant lobby, Apollo. I suppose I have no choice but to adjourn for a 20-minute recess. Bailiff, catch that mysterious man. Dun dun dun. That was a little sketchy. Stay tuned for the trial ladder. And we're gonna dive a little bit more into this game and everything that comes with it. I'll just leave it at that. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I'll talk to you guys next time.